Hi everyone, welcome to Sensational Living with Liliana. I'm here in my kitchen in beautiful Southern California, and I'm just doing an impromptu. I have so many patients that are always asking for recipes and if I have a cookbook, so this is the best way I can get out to you, all my patients who are trying so diligently and succeeding so well and becoming healthy. We're going to do a gluten-free, dairy-free pizza. Guilt-free. It's one of the things that I think patients really miss the most when I ask them, what is the food that you wish you could have right now, especially my patients that have immunity issues. They say, oh, I'd love to have a pizza. And I'd say, well, of course, everybody loves pizza. It's probably I would consider one of the most orgasmic foods. It has every aspect to the dopamine receptor sites. It's got all the opiates. So you've got the casein, morphine. You've got the gluten, morphine. Who would love pizza? So what I decided to do was bring to you a guilt-free, bloat-free pizza. And so we're going to start off by making pesto because most pestos in the stores will have some component of dairy with the Parmesan. It's not that I don't recommend dairy, but in essence I do cow dairy. I mostly will go with goat or sheep because it's just better for the body. It's a smaller molecular structure. But my patients who have immunity issues, I don't recommend dairy in any form at all. So the alternative for them is wonderful almond cheese. And when I first heard about almond cheese, and actually I bought it and tasted it, oh, it was horrible. I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to eat this cheese again. But my daughter inspired me because she cooks for our patients that have cancer. She said, Mom, when you melt it, it's great. You can't tell the difference. So I decided that, well, I would love to have a pizza. And I don't want to have a gluten-free out there because no matter what, even if you go for a gluten-free pizza, one slice is still about 36 grams of carbohydrates. And don't want to fall asleep either after I've eaten a meal. So I decided to adventure out and make this great pizza. We're going to start out by making a vegetarian pesto. And most often they would use Parmesan cheese, which is from a cow cheese. But today we're going to use almond Parmesan. So I'm going to start over here. We're going to just put 2 cups of organic basil. So simple. This is the easiest thing to do. And what I tell patients is this actually keeps really, really well. And in fact, if you want to freeze it, the only ingredient that you would not add would be the cheese. But otherwise, usually when I buy basil, this is one of the things, if you don't get to it, it goes brown very quickly and you end up throwing it away. So what I usually do when I get it is I turn it straight away into a pesto or just even blend it up with olive oil and garlic so that I have it for any dish that I might want to use. So I've got 2 cups of basil, fresh basil. I'm going to take 2 fresh garlics. And of course, for those of you who want more garlic, it's a great antiseptic, wonderful. It's great for any kind of antibacterial as well. So I use a lot of garlic with the allicin. It's just fantastic for the immune system. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and start by putting a 1/4 cup of pine nuts in there. I'm going to give it a little whirl. So bear with me with the noise here. And I take a look at it and I say, okay, it's blended up nicely enough. I don't want it too fine, but yet I don't want it too coarse as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and drizzle some olive oil in there, put the cap on so it doesn't splatter everywhere. Excellent. So that's just about the consistency I want. That's about 3/4 of olive oil. If you want to go a little lighter on it, you can do about a 1/2 cup. I like it about this consistency because I'm going to add some vegan cheese to it so that way it doesn't get too thick on me. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Now, what I would recommend is that you don't add the cheese until you're actually going to use it. So in my household, I like to do dairy-free, but my husband, he oftentimes likes regular Parmesan cheese. So it gives me the option that if I want to put regular Parmesan cheese in his, he can, and I can use the other. So I keep that to the side. I've already made it right here, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this tortilla. It's called BFree tortilla. I love it. It's kind of hard to find. Honestly, you can only find it in Ralph's supermarket, amazingly enough. Ralph's is carrying a lot of organics these days. This is GMO free. It is no soy in it as well, which is great. The nice thing about this tortilla, unlike some of the other gluten-free tortillas, is that it only has 13 carbohydrates in it. If I minus the fiber, which is 6 carbohydrates, it becomes a net 7 carbs. So I teach my patients how to really calculate the amount of glucose in food, which is really important. Patients oftentimes they think of sugar as something that they would spoon, like regular sugar or honey or cookies or crackers. They don't think of it as tortillas or chips or bread or fruit or vegetables. So it's really nice when we can find a tortilla that fits our bill and what we're looking for as either treatment, protocol, and or prevention. So on this tortilla here, I just sprayed a little bit of olive oil. I take it on both sides, just kind of, you don't need to oversaturate it, but just enough there. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it onto this griddle. This is just a cast iron griddle that my mother left to me. My mother was a fantastic chef. She really inspired that love for cooking in all of us. I have 8 sisters. We're all fabulous cooks. We love to eat. And, I got this little tortilla pan. My sister got the, big tortilla bowl that we used to spin her around in the kitchen floor. So it's great to have. You just have to take care of it. It's very old. All you have to do is just oil it up and so forth to keep it so that it doesn't create any toxic metal to it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just crisp on one side first because I want to have the cheese melt without it over crisping. So I'm going to turn this down just a tad. And then now what I've done is I've prepared everything already just to make it easy for you. I've got some portobello mushrooms here. And all I've done is chop them up into a reasonable size. And I just added a little bit of gluten-free tamari to them just to give them that little saltiness to it, but just to give it a really nice flavor. I've got some grilled bell pepper here, and again, both of these 2 foods here, as well as the tomatoes, especially the bell pepper and the tomatoes, are loaded with beta-carotene, carotenoids, so they're just fantastic as far as antioxidants. So not only we're getting a guilt-free pizza, but we're getting an anti-inflammatory as well. I'm not going to use tomato paste on there because I don't want it to make it soggy, since as you see it's a very thin tortilla here. So I'm going to use the basil as the base, and then I just grilled some tomatoes really lightly so that I could give it that kind of pizza flavor. I also have some sun-dried tomatoes, and really I tell patients it's all about building your own pizza. So your kids can use whatever they want. If they don't have any restrictions and they don't want to do the vegan cheeses, well then you can have some buffalo mozzarella or some goat cheese, things of that nature, and everybody can be really happy in the same household. Because that's one thing my patients always say is, gosh, I have to make 2-3 meals, and it's so much effort, and this way it makes it really, really nice. So I'm just giving a nice little crisp to that edge there, just enough to keep it firm enough when I add all the cheese and things. My husband likes sausage, so of course I've got some organic sausage here. Again, we want to please everybody in the household. My patients that are on immunity protocols, they get to have meats. We're not opposed to it at all, but they can't have dairy products as far as cheeses go. So I tell my patients, especially in the evening, I don't want them to eat animal products, so this is the perfect solution for that. So I'm going to just give it a little crisp like that. I'm going to put a little bit of mozzarella cheese on there first. And you see I just crisped one side only because I don't want it to over crisp, and it takes a little teeny while for this to actually melt. And as you can see here, all I did honestly was shred it like I would shred any other cheese. So it's really pretty cool that it shreds so nicely. It looks like cheese, and really when it melts you won't even be able to tell the difference. I tricked my husband the other day and gave him some of this piece of cheese, and he thought it was actually really, really fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cheese. I'm just going to dollop a little bit of this on there. Now you can do it one of 2 ways. The first one I did, I spread it onto the tortilla itself. This I'm going to just go ahead and dollop it on here like this, and then it'll just kind of melt into it. I'm not even going to spread it around too much, just like that. And then of course, since this is all about sensation and we're looking at food, we want it to be pleasing. I want you to just really think about putting a lot of love into your food and really decorating your food. There's no reason why we have to give up anything when it comes to healthy eating. I tell my patients, we are not reducing the calories, we're reducing the sugar in the diet. And of course, it's all about the 5 senses. That's why I decided to call this show Sensational Living with Liliana, because if we are not really looking at, the color of it, the taste of it, the smell of it, we're not going to anger and, oh my gosh, this is fabulous and healthy for me. Why would I ever want anything else? My husband often says to me, why would I even want bread when I have these fabulous wraps that are crunchy and snappy and create a lot of sensation when you eat? And so we don't really miss them at all. In fact, when we do have them, we both regret it because we end up getting bloaty, and that's not comfortable at all. So you just place this on there, and again, I say love is one of the best ingredients to healing. It's the highest vibration of anything. It actually changes the DNA strand, so you got to have a lot of love. My mother taught us if you were angry at all, don't cook. She said, just like that, water for chocolate. And she said that it actually put bad vibrations into the food. So way back when we were all young, we got that right away. And since, our clinic is all about integrative medicine, we do a lot of energy healing and a lot of energy testing. And so I tell patients that, our reality in life, how we perceive it really creates who we are. And so I get them to really connect to their five senses. I eat, I feel. If I eat and I feel fantastic, I don't get bloaty and gas, guess what? That food loved you too. And that's what it's all about. It's creating a little love to our food. So this one, I'm going to put artichokes on it. My husband doesn't like artichokes, so I'm not going to put it on his, but I do. I love artichokes. So again, everything is organic, GMO free. It's easy to find. I've got a wonderful Sprouts right down the street from me, so I love it. It makes it really fun. I don't have to go to 25 different stores, and I can just go to one or two, which makes it really nice. I've got Kalamata olives on there. I've got the gluten-free cheese. I've got the artichokes on there. I'm not going to put any meat on this one. In fact, I'm going to throw some tomatoes on here too, because I just would love. Actually, you can put them underneath there. Throw that over. We're ad-libbing here. It's what's wonderful about cooking. You really can't make a mistake. Well, sometimes, but you can correct it most of the time. All right, and then I'm just going to top it off with some. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put some spices. I'm going to put some oregano. So again, be generous with your spices. They're just wonderful. They add a lot of sensation to your cooking. I'm going to put some Italian seasoning on there. Okay. Tell me you're not going to love this. You are absolutely. A little bit of chili flakes on there. I love little chili flakes on there. And just a little teeny bit of this vegan Parmesan cheese. Doesn't that look fantastic? Pretty darn exciting. So just a few seconds there. We're going to take it off this grill and we are going to try it. So this is my first episode and I'm really looking forward to being able to come into your home and extend my passion in regards to healthy living and sensational living. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine and we were talking about the golden ages and she was saying, every day I wake up I feel older and older and rickety, and I said, well, maybe they shouldn't call it the golden, maybe they should call it the rustic age. But in reality, what we're looking at is that the older we get in the golden age is part of the wiseness that we get in regards to why would we do anything that doesn't have benefit to us, and that's including eating. And so it's really important to be conscious about what you put in your body, what you put on your body, because obviously we're living in a world that's, unfortunately lots of unseen toxins. And so if we can really make a difference by being conscious about what we bring home, put in our refrigerators, put in our cupboard, that's really the most important thing you can do for yourself and your family. So I think this pizza looks like it's just about perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and, so this is one I made earlier for my husband. Got the little sausage on there and a little bit different than mine. It's completely loaded. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this off. There we go. So I just wanted to show you really quickly here. This is some almond cheese that we have here. I really like it. This is Lisanatti almond cheese. What I like about it, there's no casein in it, which is really good. So I've got the mozzarella, and I also have the, this is the jalapeno one, which I really like. And then the Follow Your Heart's cheese here, the Parmesan. Again, both of these don't have any casein in them, so there's no dairy at all. And then, of course, you've got some organic Italian sausages here. So honestly, building your own pizza can be a lot of fun for your family, and it just takes just a little ingenuity and practice and have a lot of fun with it. So my goal is that weekly or bi-weekly, since this is our first one, I'd like to do these wonderful shows for you. And if there's anything that you have an interested in, and not necessarily cooking, whether it's a topic, I am an expert at nutrition, healthy lifestyle. I work for the Center for New Medicine, and it's an integrated facility, over 30,000 square feet. We have an oncology division. We treat from the common cold to cancer, and so I can pretty much answer most questions. If I can't answer them, I'll always get back to you. So share this with your friends, and let me know if there's anything else I can add to the show.